News Talk 1150 WGBR. Welcome to 2015, the very first Monday morning quarterback show with Harlan Neal and his co-host, yours truly, Carol Bowden. Good morning, Harlan.
Good morning, Carol. Back and better than ever for 2015. Here we go on the other side.
Absolutely, and Happy New Year to you. I hope it's been a good one so far.
Happy New Year to you, too. Has been. Now we finally know what day it is. It feels like a Monday now with all these holidays and all these different things.
And it is a Monday.
It was hard to figure out what day it was. Where am I supposed to be? Is it Thursday? Is it Friday? Whatever. Now we kind of think things are going to be on a cleaner slate from here on out. So it's good to be back on schedule.
I'm thrilled to have it as a Monday, and we have no holidays this week. I'm actually happy about that. So let's just jump into it. You want to mention our young man that played in the
Yeah, Johnny Frazier. Yeah, just real quickly, one last high school note. Johnny the U.S. All-American football game was played this past Saturday. The West beat the East 39-36. That's a real honor to be in that game. It's the top 90 players around the United States, 45 obviously on each team, so it's quite an honor. And Johnny Frazier was in the game. I didn't really get to see the game. I think he had one carry for 1 yard, but I heard he also had really good workouts during the week, and sometimes it's hard for running backs to shine in that game. There's so many of them and that kind of thing, so I'm sure he did real well. And I tell you, I was real impressed. I was reading the Blue Devils had two recruits in that game. T.J. Raming, who is a wide receiver, caught a touchdown pass, and also Ben Humphreys, who's an outside linebacker, had a pick six. So David Cutcliffe has hit the road again, and he's bringing some talent into Durham. So I think that program will continue to be on the rise. Just got to figure out a way to win some of these bowl games. But, hey, it's come a long way. Used to, we were happy when they won 2 or 3 games, and now things are moving in the right direction.
That's exactly right. And now let's jump into some college. We'll start first with the Heartbreakers. As you said, Pat Benatar's song should be playing in the background right now. Carol
was going to sing that, folks, but she thought she would spare that for you. But I told her she's got my permission because that's going to be the theme song next year when we. I don't know. It's Heartbreak City. I tell you, it is unbelievable.
We're talking about the ECU Pirates, who really, as you said, by statistics, should have won the game by 2 or 3 touchdowns. They did a phenomenal job. Never before have you had that many passing yards in the Birmingham Bowl. Carden did a great job, but they really stuck it to Hardy. There was just no way for him to catch the ball.
Exactly. Just like you said, Carol, if you just sat and looked at the stat sheet, didn't look at, of course, the bottom line is you win on the scoreboard. Statistics are fine, but the bottom line, we all know the final score is what really matters. But East Carolina ran 101 plays for 536 yards compared to 71 plays for 339 for the Gators. And one of their they had a really a long TD pass right before, I think there was one play, 86-yard screen pass from Trayvon Harris to Ahmad Forward. And that was a backbreaker there. And then East Carolina had 2 TDs on 7 trips inside the 20-yard line. Came away with just 2 TDs. And, the 2 turnovers, one on the goal line, the fumble by the backup quarterback, and then the INT at the end of the game. So, like you said, it was Heartbreak City. Just a couple of notes here. Cam Worthy had 8 catches for 130 yards, did a great job. Let's see. Hardy had 11 passes for 160 yards, ended up with 121 receptions for this year, only second, behind the Alabama receiver.
Right.
And then, but Harden, God, he had to throw the ball so much, 34 for 66. I know his arm was sore after that game for 427 yards.
Wow.
Unfortunately, did have the two INTs, and then that Brian Poole, he had that pick six. Unfortunately, that 29-yard touchdown return for the Gators that was in the second quarter. So, just a tough one. They had trouble. They didn't really run the ball a whole lot. Breon Allen had tore his ACL early in the week. So, but you know what? Like we always try to talk about, I'd rather focus on the positive.
That's exactly right. And they had a great year.
They did.
They came out strong for the first year in the American Athletic Conference. So going into next year, we've got a great quarterback to come behind all that Carden did. So we'll see what happens in 2015. That's all we can do.
That's all we can do. And I just like to, certainly thank Shane and Carden and, Hardy and Cam Worthy, those guys represent East Carolina both great on and off the field, and that's as good as it gets. Class acts. I know they were disappointed,
Yep.
but you know what? True Pirates hang through thick and thin, and we'll be right there again in the fall at Dowdy Fiddlin, ready to go.
You better believe it. Now let's jump over to, of course, we've got the big matchup a week from tonight at 8:30 at AT&T Stadium in Texas. We're talking about number 2 Oregon versus number 4 Ohio State. And the way they got there, Ohio State beat Alabama. You said you were not surprised by that. I was just a little bit, but I'll tell you what I was most surprised about, I was pulling for Oregon. They did it, but never did I expect Oregon to pound Florida State the way they did.
That was unbelievable. I tell you, scored 6 straight times in the second half, 5 of which were TDs. And they are quick. I've never seen a team get a play in. They were showing on the TV screen. They were getting plays called and ran in 10 seconds.
Yes.
I've never seen that.
I haven't either.
I don't even know how you do that.
I thought Cardin was fast when it came time for resetting plays and go, but nothing compared to what Oregon
You could
did.
look away and grab a sandwich and miss 2 plays. I mean, not even leave your chair or your seat. I mean, it was unbelievable. You were scared to do anything. You were like glued to the TV. It was unbelievable. First team to score 50 points in the Rose Bowl. And I thought the turning point, right before halftime, Florida State was driving, and Winston threw a pass. I can't recall the receiver's name, but it would have probably been about a 20-yard pass. Would have put him in a little bit better, easier field goal range. He dropped it. So they had to attempt a 54-yard field goal. Roberto Arguera, who is a great kicker, he'll be kicking on Sundays. He's a fantastic kicker. He missed a 54-yarder on the final play of the first half, and then Florida State was driving at the beginning of the second half, and then Delvin Cook was stripped of the ball, and then after that, the whole thing turned.
And I saw them falling apart a little bit before that. You talk about the dropped pass, which would have put him in better field position. He started yelling at his receiver, saying, "You got to catch the ball." Well, truth be told, Winston threw it in front of him. He could not get to the ball.
Sure.
Yeah, he's got to catch it, but you got to throw it, buddy.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so you don't fall apart like that on the field.
No, you got to keep your composure, and I think they really got frustrated. And then, like you said, Oregon just fast. And I tell you, it's just Marcus Mariota. Oh my God, Mariota. I hadn't seen him play that much a lot of times other than on film, because a lot of times their games were on so late, and I didn't get a chance to see as many of them. But he threw for 338 yards, 2 TDs, ran for another one. But you could see why he was the Heisman.
No kidding.
He's a leader. He's focused. He's fast. Probably will be the number 1 pick in the NFL draft. I know Tampa Bay has the first pick, and they need a quarterback desperately. So wouldn't be shocked to see him go number 1 to the Buccaneers.
That's a great call, and I think you might be right.
And Cardin, going back just a little bit, Cardin was ranked the 6th best quarterback in the draft. Hardy was the 14th best receiver.
I think they're way too low on that.
I think they are too.
I think Hardy should be somewhere in the top 5.
Whoever gets him, that's a steal. I tell you what, he'll make a nice addition to an NFL roster.
Yeah, I hope it's somebody close by that we can see. We got to take a break here in just a minute, so we're done recapping what's going on. Again, that final game for the first ever true college championship bowl game between Oregon and Ohio State will be next Monday, the 12th at 8:30. Of course, that's going to be, I'm sure, on ESPN, or is it going to be on
I think it's on the regular network channel, like either Channel 5. I haven't seen the TV schedule. I know it's like a late, like an 8:35 kickoff.
It is an 8:35 kickoff.
Probably on CBS, so I believe. So I'll have to check the listings on that. But it'll be next Monday, January 12th. Of course, I know that committee was so glad that Ohio State obviously did more than their part in defeating Alabama. Like I said, 42-35. So, after TCU destroyed Ole Miss 42-3, they were thinking, oh, my God. They were probably praying that Ohio State would have a very good showing against Alabama, because obviously there was a big argument going into that. But obviously Ohio State did very, very well. And that Cardell Jones, that third-string quarterback, threw for 247 yards and ran for 43. He continues to do well.
Third string.
I'll tell you something they did, Carol, that the coaching staff, Urban Meyer, is really smart. I noticed that what they do, they run vertical routes, they run them long. He just throws the ball up. He doesn't have to read a lot of coverages. They've got good receivers. They can go get the ball. And then if it's not there, don't analyze it. Take off and run. The guy's 6'5", 250. So he's big.
Right.
So he can take it. Not that you want your quarterback getting hit a lot, but he's kind of that Cam Newton type, that statue. So they did a good job there. By the way, Oregon is a 7-point favorite next Monday for what it's worth.
Okay.
You know, so but yeah, TCU 42-3. I like what Gary Patterson said. I don't think I have to say anything. He was very classy during this whole thing. But I would watch folks. I'm telling you, watch TCU next year. I've almost adopted them as a team. I just enjoy watching them. They're very focused. Josh Dotson had 2 TD catches, and then Trayvon Boycon had 3 TD passes. Ole Miss lost 4 of its last 5 games. Poor Bo Wallace had 3 interceptions, including one by James McFarland that was right in the end zone. So, anyway, just a tough day, but that's what college football is all about. That's what makes it fun.
It's going to be exciting to see things next August, to say the least. All right, let's jump over to some NFL news. Of course, Carolina fans, let's go Panthers. They did exactly what everyone expected them to do, and they beat the Arizona Cardinals 27-16.
Held Arizona to the fewest yards ever in a postseason game, 78 yards.
That's
but part of it was because on the last play of the game, the Cardinals were trying some laterals and lost 20 yards. So they went in the record books the wrong way. But,
oh, my gosh.
But, third-string quarterbacks obviously having a hard time. And then Carolina racked up 344 yards and 25 first downs, the most in its playoff history. First playoff win since January 15, 2006, which was against the Chicago Bears.
Wow.
Newton had 196 yards passing on 18 for 32. Did have 1 INT, but they pretty much took care of business. And, of course, they will be traveling to Seattle next Saturday night, kickoff at 8:15 p.m. They are an 11.5-point underdog.
Are they?
Yeah, so pretty big
Well,
spread on that. But not surprising. Seattle's tough at home, but anything can happen. I would say Seattle will probably win, but you never know. Hey, that's why you play these games. They played a tough game early in the year, you might recall, at Bank of America Stadium earlier this year, and the Panthers lost 13-9.
Right.
So that was very much of a defensive game.
That was because I remember how close that was, and I don't believe we really had a touchdown. I think that was all extra points.
All field goals.
Exactly. Field goals.
Yeah, exactly. So that was that was the 8th game of the season. So it feels like it's been forever.
It really does.
Anyway,
we'll stay with the NFC for just a moment. Cowboys put away the Lions. I tell you what, that was a very exciting game, 24-20, and what can you say? Their win caused the Panthers to be able to go to Seattle versus playing in Green Bay in that 11-degree weather.
Like pick your poison. Which one do I really want to do?
You want to be cold or you want to go up against Seattle?
Exactly. Yeah, big victory. Tony Romo hit Terrence Williams for the winning TD with a little bit over 2.5 minutes left, although, like I said, Detroit did have some time there at the end. First playoff win for the Cowboys in 5 years. And there was a controversial call in that game. Not that for what it's worth, they've been talking about it a whole lot on the radio and talk radio this morning, but Detroit was driving with a 20-17 lead in the fourth quarter, and referee Pete Morelli announced that there was a pass interference call against Anthony Hitchens on a third down pass to Brandon Pettigrew, but officials reversed the call. And then of all things, it was 4th and 1, and then to add insult to injury, the punter for the Detroit Lions, Sam Martin, had a 10-yard punt.
Yeah.
So that kind of shanked off to the side. So anyway, obviously Dallas had great field position. They drove down the field and ended up winning. But give Tony Romo credit. They did what they had to do. One play, we don't know what would have happened, but the Cowboys earned it. They'll be they'll be at Green Bay, like you said, next Sunday. That kickoff is going to be at 1:05 p.m. And they are a 6.5-point underdog for what it's worth against Green Bay.
All right, now we're going to go to the AFC, and Ravens, daggone you, beat my Steelers 30-17.
Tough day. I tell you, Joe Flacco did throw 2 second-half TDs. I tell you, I watched some of that game. It looked like to me the Ravens kind of had their ears pinned back on defense. They were after
You
them.
think?
I mean, and we all know how strong the Steelers' offense had been this year. The running game,
I know. The
passing game, and all that. But they had their ears pinned back. And, they got in there and ended up with a 30-17 victory. So I know that. I know.
It hurt my feelings,
I thought about you during that game. I know you had your terrible towel out and everything like that.
I changed outfits 3 times that day. I went from Pirates gear to Panthers gear to Steelers gear all in the same day.
It was an emotional roller coaster day, I tell you. That the one in the middle came out on the good side there.
That's the only time I should have just stayed in that jersey, I guess. But anyway, and then the final game, I don't know that a whole lot of folks watched it or cared, but Indianapolis did take care of Cincinnati. That was a 26-10 game, and we got just a couple of minutes left, so I want you to tell your little stats on that one real quick, and then we're
the Colts won 26-10, and they will be playing. Let's see, that game's going to be at Denver next. That's going to be. Let's see, what day will that be? That's going to be. Denver's going to be a 7-point favorite. That'll be a Sunday kickoff, January 11th at 4:40 p.m. But the last playoff victory was 24 years ago for the Bengals, so that drought continues.
No kidding.
I mean, they can get there, but they just can't get quite past that first stage.
All right, we got 2 minutes left, and you want to give respect to a young man that entirely too young, that was a North Carolina native, kind of, sort of, went to UNC. We're talking about Stuart Scott, ESPN sportscaster, beloved individual that went to high school here and.
Very proud alumnus of UNC Chapel Hill, the Tar Heels, big Tar Heel fan. And I know sometimes we tease everybody about our allegiances, but we're all, at the end of the day, we're all cheering for our respective teams. Great pioneer, trailblazer in the industry. Remember him, started the ESPN2 in 1993. Remember it like it was yesterday. But, obviously had a 7-year battle with cancer, the awful dreaded disease, battled through three different times, and my heart goes out to him. I heard him talking about him a lot on ESPN yesterday, and the one thing that stuck out about it, obviously a great anchor. The ESPN family is just like a family in itself, but he was a great dad to his 2 daughters. Leaves behind 2 wonderful daughters, and that's as good as you get. At the end of the day, we all want to be good moms and good dads, so that's one of the best roles you can play. But certainly will be missed. And I thought this was a quote from his ESPY speech that we talked about that you've probably seen or may have heard. But I like this quote if I can read real quickly here, and I can't do it as good as he can, obviously. But here's the way he stated it. But when you die, it does not mean that you lose to cancer. You beat cancer by how you live, why you live, and the manner in which you live. I thought that was very strong, man. What else can you say about that? And
he received the Jimmy V Perseverance Award earlier this year.
Exactly.
And his 2 daughters, Taylor and Sydney, as you mentioned, and one of those daughters he called out during that when he received the award, and he said, "I need a hug."
Right.
She went right up on stage and did so, barefoot and absolutely adorable. So you're right. That says a lot more about him than anything else that he did in life.
Absolutely. And one of his favorite quotes, I love this one. Even Cody did this one yesterday. He said, "Dad, but I wanted to wish everybody today, think about the rest of the day. I hope your day is as cool as the other side of the pillow."
Take us home, Harlan.
There you go. That's as good as said. And we'll give a big booyah for Stuart Scott. Have a great day, my friends.